Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since I've done like a Gothic fan base type video, so I wanted to get into that a little bit because the Goth is on dead. I mean, it's actually one of the longest lasting countercultures that emerged from the 80s than any other counterculture from the 80s. It's still around. It's on dead. It's still there, and there's still new bands coming out even to this day. And I really love that old 80s and 90s sound. That's my favorite. You know, things like Brotherhood of Pagans, and that's more 90s, of course. And then you have Christian Death, which is 80s, and Susie and the Banshees. And I love all that, but there's some really great Gothic bands that are still coming out today. And while I do carry a liking for the Last Dance, like some, goth bands, I think the Last Dance, they lost their drummer died, and then they used samples of his drumming and they incorporated that into their further music, creating kind of a dark wave, kind of dark pop. But originally they are just goth. But and I like them. I really do like the Last Dance. Cruise Shadows, it kind of just depends on the song, really. Like, there's a few songs here and there that I really, really like. And then there's a lot where it's like, ugh, no. So, first of all, I'm going to go through some older stuff. And all these things that I'm going to go over, you can pick up on Amazon. I'm out of focus. Come on, focus, focus. Camera, focus. There we go. So, this I have on VHS. This is, if you can see that without any glare, Skinny Puppies video collection. It's from 1984 through 1992, their video collection. And it has on it Dig It, Stairs and Flowers, Far Too Frail, Smothered Hope, Deep Down, Trauma, Texture, Spasmolite. And The Killing Game. They have The Killing Game on there. So I have that. I also have, and I think this is really fucked up, but this is London After Midnight. And they put on here, it was a Kiss, Carrying On, Screaming, Psycho Magnet, and they did some behind the scenes stuff and some live footage. And I'm really disappointed in Sean Brennan because he took down the videos from this off YouTube. If you search, videos for, London After Midnight, Kiss, Carrying On, Screaming, or Psycho Magnet, you will not find the music videos that are on this VHS tape. And I am looking to get these converted to digital copy so they can carry over to the new millennia. I still do currently have a VHS player. And then I have, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, that's a blast from the past. All the people that have been fans of goth since the 80s and 90s, I have Gothic Industrial Alternative Visuals, which has on it, and not all of this is goth. Some of this is EBM Industrial, but you have the Penal Colony, EBM Industrial, the Electric Hellfire Club, EBM Industrial, Diacrups, EBM Industrial, Rosetta Stone, The Witch, goth, yay, Christian Death, Cavity, First Communion is a live thing with Roz Williams, fantastic, love it. Then we also have Mephisto Waltz, another goth band, and Nick Turner. I've never heard of, this is the only place I've ever really heard of Nick Turner. I don't know what the hell he is. It's really experimental music. But I don't know. I don't know much about Nick Turner. Spawn Ranch, EBM Industrial, Leather Strip, EBM Industrial, Evo Halo Experience, Angel of Death is on here. Not many music videos from Evo Hollow exist, but there's one on here. And I actually kind of like it. Big Electric Cat, that's another one where it's like, wow, they have a music video? Yeah, they have a music video. It's Christabel. Kill Switch Click, that's another, you know, EBM industrial. Executive Slacks is on here too. So that's some old school stuff. I also have Bauhaus Shadow of Light archive, which has it's got quite a plethora of stuff on it. You know, Bela Lugosi's Dead, Telegram Sam, Rose Garden Funeral of Sores, Mask, Spirit, In the Flat Field, Ziggy Stardust, Hollow Hills, She's in Parties. Yeah, The Passion of Lovers, Kick in the Eye, A God in an Alcove, Dancing, Hera of the Dogs, Stigmata Martyr, Dark Entries, We Love Our Audience, Sanity Assassin. And there's live footage as well as, you know, some music videos on this as well. You can get it on Amazon. It's not too bad. The Gotham album, you know, the live album from Gotham, New York City, you can find that full live event on YouTube. I actually have it in one of my playlists, and the playlist is entitled Music. If you scroll through there, you will see it's long. It's over an hour long, but it's great. It's awesome. I honestly, personally, I think Bauhaus sounds better live than studio. I think their studio stuff, like compared to their live stuff, they're awesome. Their studio stuff is kind of sometimes. Their live stuff, like some of the songs I've heard on the studio, it's like, but then when I hear it live, I'm like, oh man, this is really good. So, another thing for people that are looking for more of the original goth, like from the 80s and 90s, you have this thing, Goth Days, which is done by Cherry Red Records, and you have Alien Sex Fiend, Ignore the Machine, Hagar, and the wonderful thing about this is they cover goth bands that were really, really obscure and really hardcore underground. They've like Hagar the Womb, Inca Babies is on here, Ligatage, Nico from the Velvet Underground, our beautiful little heroin addict that she's falling asleep at the microphone because she's so high. Lost Gang is on here, Flesh for Lulu, Creaming Jesus, Bone Orchard, Rubella Ballet, Andy Sex Gang. I like Sex Gang Children better. I like the old stuff. Sorry. In Excelsis, to me, that one and Play Dead, like those two bands, they kind of sound, I don't know, I don't really dig their sound. The Marionettes, I like them. They've turned kind of metal, like the stuff that they produce now is very metal. I miss the old style stuff like Ava Dementia that wasn't all metal, it was more goth. I like that stuff, but this has Kisses on it, so it was pretty good. Malaria, Dance Society is on here. I was shocked. I didn't know Dance Society made any videos, but apparently they did. Skeletal Family, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, Ghost Dance. Another, you know, like, it's the same singer from Play Dead. Or not Play Dead, I'm sorry. Skeletal Family. Shit. But she's actually a very talented singer. I really like her. Virgin Prunes is on here. Alien Sex Fiend, again, rest in peace, R.I.P. And another Nico song, All Tomorrow's Party. She's not so high in that one. I also have a Skeletal Family DVD, and I forgot about that. I didn't pull it out. But I have that too. You can find it on Amazon. So they have some music videos that I was unaware of. They even have this really poppy song, and I was like, what the fuck happened? It was like in the early 90s they made this really poppy song, and I was like, this doesn't sound like Skeletal Family. What the fuck? They're like goth punk, kind of like dark punk. I don't know what happened there. Then I also have the Goth box. I'm sure most people are aware of this one. Switchblade Symphony, Clown, The Wait, Christine, Christian Death, Romeo's Distress, Nosferatu, The Haunting, Evo Hollow, Children of the Light, Alien Sex Fiend, Ignore the Machine, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry, Spinning Around, The Prophetess Avalon. I really like that one, The Prophetess Avalon. Ghost Dance, Deeper Blue, which is a live thing. Lords of the New Church, Open Your Eyes, another goth hero, really fucking high on heroin, can barely even, has to hold himself up with the microphone. The Chameleons UK and Shreds. I love In Shreds. That's a really awesome song. I think anyone out there can relate to that song. Anyone has been there. Skeletal Family, Lost in Paradise, Executive Slacks, Fire and Ice, Usher House, Surrender Down, and Corpus Delicti, Absent Friend, which is, of course, a live version. And Corpus Delicti does have some actual music videos like Twilight. You can type in Corpus. Actually, again, in my playlist called Music, I have Corpus Delicti music videos, like actual music videos where they're not just live. And it comes with an audio track, like just strictly audio as well. I have Christian Death Live featuring Roz Williams. I got that on Amazon. I'm not sure if they still have this available. As you can see, this is kind of a bootleg. Yeah. So maybe I should consider myself lucky that I got this one. It says it came from Cleopatra. I don't know. Doesn't look like Cleopatra's usual work. This is another, this isn't really, this has, I think, some music video stuff on it. Not a lot. This is a silent film that Roz Williams of Christian Death did. If you have not seen this or picked it up, I would really recommend it. It's quite disturbing. It looks like a snuff film. I've scared several people with it, but I assure you it is not a snuff film. It is, I'm pretty sure Nico was his boyfriend at the time, but Nico and Roz, this was his last, the last thing that he did before he died. One of the last things. And there's also the last composed song on here as a memorial video to him, and it's really beautiful, and I would really recommend picking that up, especially if it's still available. And you also have Almost Beautiful by The Last Dance, and you've got some good music videos in here and some behind the scenes stuff, so I would recommend that too. That's more modern, though. That's kind of new millennium stuff. And this one here is a weird one because there's a lot of not so goth stuff on it. I don't even know what it's called. It just came in this fucking book. A Life Less Lived, the Gothic. I don't know what that's supposed to say. But, I'm trying to look for the lineup they have on it, but they got a DVD that comes with it, as well as a bunch of audio tracks. Not all of the bands in this. This is not, I don't know what record company pooped this out, but not all the bands on here are goth. Some of it is just post-punk stuff. I mean, it's still good, but it's not goth. I mean, like, let's see. Let me find one that isn't goth. And Ghost Dance, Kelly's Car, Creatures, Folds, Jim Loves Jezebel, Peter Murphy, Churches and Society. Is the Echo and the Bunny Man? I don't know. I wouldn't really. I mean, some of their stuff has been okay, but I don't know if I would call them goth. Friends. Yeah, Nubidston, and Throbbing Gristle. And granted, they're part of the dark wave, but they're not really goth. I didn't realize they had Community FK on here. That's pretty cool. I didn't realize that. AFI. Fucking AFI is on this. AFI. No, not goth. Go fuck yourself. But on the DVD, they have The Cure, Lullaby, Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's Dead, Sisters of Mercy, Lacrita, My Reflection, and they have Fields of Nephilim, Moonchild. It's a really good song. I really like that song. The Mission UK, Deliverance, Love and Rockets, Ball of Confusion, which is not an original song by Love and Rockets, but whatever. I still like it. The Jesus and Mary Chain, Head On. And you know, the Jesus and Mary Chain, I wouldn't call them goth, but that's a pretty good song. I actually kind of like it. I would consider them post-punk. You have Echo and the Bunnymen, The Killing Moon. That's a song I can see the gothic community being allured to as The Killing Moon. Then you have Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Where the Wild Roses Grow. Ministry, which is not a goth band. They are dark wave, kind of industrial-ish, but they're not goth. Stigmata. And then they have The Cult, Spirit Walker, and Susie and the Banshees, Cities in Dust. This one I did not get on Amazon, but I'm pretty sure you probably find it on Amazon because I'm pretty sure this was pooped out by a major record label because, like I said, there are bands on here that are not goth. AFI, that was the biggest one that I was like, what the fuck? But it comes in a thing like this. It's got, what do they got? 3 CDs and a DVD in it. But I wanted to talk about some of the new ones, and there's this that's coming out of the UK. It's called Gothic Visions. This is the second. I think they're up to 5 now, but they've got some really great bands that are coming out of the UK that are doing that have sounds indicative of 80s and 90s gothic rock. And some of the ones that I've picked out is Andreas Gross doesn't have the sound of the 80s and 90s, but it definitely has like a goth sound that I would not call entirely electronic or something that sounds almost metal. It's kind of got some symphonic or, you know, some synthesized sound to it, but they actually do play guitars, and the lead female singer does actually play the cello. So I think that's pretty cool. You also have Whispers and Shadows. That is a really awesome band. They do carry on that traditional kind of 90s goth sound. So I would definitely recommend checking out Whispers and Shadows. Tunes of Dawn, I like them, and I would call them goth, but I feel like they kind of strayed into that gothic category of like typo negative. I can definitely get a typo negative influence from them. While I would consider typo negative as kind of gothic metal, I wouldn't really call them gothic rock, but the Tunes of Dawn really take it to a very melancholic level, like seriously, like suicidal. Like, I mean, like, they have a song called I'm So Goth I Shit Bats. So, I mean, like, they've got some goth, like, they put more pipe organs than typo negative would use, so I can run with that. And, oh, what was some other ones? Hold on. There were others on here that I would definitely recommend. There is a band on here called it's you know how there's that 90s goth band Usher House. There's one on here that sounds similar to that. It's like the House of Usher, and they have kind of that 90s 80s kind of goth sound. I'm not seeing it, but I know it's on here. They even got Wayne Hussey on here, so I guess Wayne Hussey from Mission UK is still doing stuff. Vooduma, they're okay. They're really pushing Vooduma, but they're okay. There's Vlad in Tears, which Vlad in Tears is like one of those bands where it's like, is a hit or miss on the goth category. Like some of it is, some of it isn't. You would have to look at Vlad in Tears and decide that for yourself. Like some of Vlad in Tears stuff I really do enjoy. Beautiful Sadness. I would totally recommend checking out Beautiful Sadness. Death Camp Project. Totally recommend them. Eyes Bloom. That's another one I would definitely recommend. Cult. I would recommend. Lilith is a weird one. I don't know that they actually made an album, though. You'd have to get these to get Lilith. Exit to Eden, they're okay. Kind of like a new take on Gothic rock. I would say Exit to Eden might be like, like kind of a modern interpretation of Gothic rock. Kind of mixed in with some steampunk. Dr. Arthur Krauss, I would totally recommend that one too. Second Skin, totally recommend that one too. Those have elements of that 90s and 80s goth with like a little bit of electronics involved, but not so much that it takes away from that 80s and 90s gothic rock sounds. 26 Tears. 26 Tears reminds me of a combination between Eva O and Guillotine Demone. So I would recommend. But I've got two of these. They've got a volume 5. I think I have two. This is volume 2 and volume 5. But they usually come with a DVD and an audio in it. I will say these do come from the UK, and they are in UK format as far as the audio or the visual stuff goes. So if you live in the States and you're not familiar with this, the UK has a different format for DVDs than the States does. So if you order this, you have to realize that the visuals, the music videos that come with it, they will play on an Xbox, and I do believe they will play on a PS4. I just use my computer and use VLC Media Player. It works just fine. But you will not be able to stick this in a regular DVD player because the format is different. It's 4.3/16.9. So, different format. But I would definitely recommend looking into these Gothic Visions collections that they have available on Amazon. They are new Gothic rock bands that are coming out in the UK, and it's going to be a hit or miss, but it's a great way to stay aware of what's going on in the goth community, of where it came from. These are goth bands from Germany and England. Some of them are still even performing at the Bat Cave. So I would recommend looking into this. And for those of you that are from the UK, you probably already know about this. But For those of you in the States or other countries, I would definitely recommend looking into it. And like I said, you can you just pop it into your computer. VLC Media Player doesn't have a problem with it. But anyway, and actually, I think I have another like video collection from. I talked about that, the Skeletal Family video collection that I have that I forgot to bring out. But I think I have another one that that's not coming to mind at the moment. I don't know, but I would definitely recommend the Gothic Visions. But anyway, hopefully that helps you like get caught up with some of these like some of these newer bands that are coming out, like Merciful Nuns. I already talked about that. The Wolfgang, Saints of Ruin, Distance, Dead Guitars, Project F, Denite, Sonic, Porn Stars, Mystigma, Lost Area. I mean, they've got like a ton of stuff, and like I said, some of it's kind of hit or miss. Some of it is more metal, some of it leans more towards like EBM, industrial, dark wave, and some of it does carry on that kind of 90s and 80s Gothic sound that I love personally. So I would recommend that. But I think with that, I'm going to say like, share, subscribe, and comment. And with that, I'm out.